Is episode good? We do Colin Baker with his coat of color. That will get painful.
Hello, listener. Welcome to Time Ram. Barry's done something wrong. We don't know what it is, but it's very, very interesting. I'd like to know. Baz, what have you done wrong?
Not strictly relevant. I've written some notes on the wrong page in my notebook. That's all. That's all I'm talking about.
That's fine. That's fine. I was hoping it was something more interesting and exciting, but it isn't, so you've betrayed us.
Interesting and exciting. No.
Yeah.
No.
This is Time Ram after all. And tonight on Time Ram, we're essaying the, I think, classic and brilliant William Hartnell story, The Web Planet. Except it's not William Hartnell anymore, is it?
No.
Who is it, men?
Well, you tell us. You know, don't you? Yeah.
No, I can't remember. That's why I was hoping you would. But, all right, fine.
I can tell you can.
You've deliberately decided to show me up, so fuck you.
Just keep kind of going second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, until one of us nods.
Six, isn't it? Yeah.
Six.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Six.
it's the Colin Baker story, The Web Planet, which I think will at least be more colourful. But
yes,
where it goes, I don't know. Let's find out. Come with us, listener, to the planet Vortis as Colin Baker and companion. It's going to be Perry, isn't it? Land. So is it going to be Perry?
That would seem most logical.
yeah. I think I mentioned something in the chat because yes, we do talk to each other outside this podcast, listener.
No.
Amazingly.
We don't all hate each other, like
No.
like a 70s comedy duo. Yeah, I think I mentioned in there that we could have it following directly on from the last Sixth Doctor one we had, which where we had Harry Sullivan.
Oh yes,
coming back.
Oh yeah.
I endorse this because we've got a lot of companions in the Web Planet,
and possibly Brigadier Bambera, but that might be taking it a bit too far.
Yeah. I think we can get away with two companions, probably.
Yeah.
Web Planet though, that's great fun, isn't it? Imagine what she'd be shaming at. You're going, oh shame, the moment she walked out of the TARDIS. Realised that there was like jizz on her eyes.
They have just smeared.
Suggested should be jizz on Brigadier Bambera's eyes, but
they have just smeared Vaseline in sort of lines across the camera, haven't they? So sometimes, if people are in the right position, you can see their face. But if they're in the wrong position, they're just a blur. They're just a blur.
It's really weird because that was a thing in old Hollywood, wasn't it? In silent movies, but they generally either put it very consistently over or just around the edge to create like a soft focus. But here they do just seem to have gone with a finger,
You can always tell. I love that you can tell on the website, like two of the cameras have got jizz on them, and the rest haven't. So you'll go from a smeary vortex shot to just something completely pin sharp and fine, and normal. Yeah. So it's a divisive one, the Web Planet, isn't it? Where do you guys stand on it?
I like it. I really like it. I've always liked it.
Same here.
Yeah.
But I think watching it this time, what I did notice about it, possibly because I was watching it on the Blu-ray, is I think one of the things that really let it down is the kind of sound on it. cush, you can hear every clump, every
Every creek.
zombie crashing
Mm.
into something, every
Yeah.
creaking timber as they kind of walk over something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
yeah.
sound is awful.
it's a very, very wooden world in
Yeah.
terms of sound.
Yes.
Yet, in terms of sound, also, it's a funny story, that one, because you've got the whole Le Structure Sonore soundtrack, which I think is great.
Yeah.
I like a bit of Glassrod's music, me. Um, and you've got the bizarre speech patterns of the Optera and the Optera later.
Yeah.
God, that Zarbi noise is annoying, though, isn't it?
That is annoying.
Yes.
Yeah, I mentioned it to my partner, and that was her reaction to it. Well, oh, it's the one with all the whistling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't do with the whistling. Um, yeah, I quite like it. I mean, I like the novelization. I read the novelization years before I actually saw it.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
here. I
And it's
think the novelization is a big part of why I like it so much.
yeah.
Because I had that
Yeah.
kind of muscle memory of the story when I first watched it
Hmm.
on a, I don't know, 10th generation VHS. I mean, it was a really, really bad copy that I had, but I had it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and the bad copy did hide some of the creakiness, in
Yes.
fairness.
I was quite entertained, particularly during episode 6. You've got obviously the forced perspective set there, where they've got sort of the background
Yeah.
is meant to be far away, and then the Zarbi walk in front of it in episode 6 and cast their shadows across the whole thing.
Yeah. It's not as
Destroying
Yeah.
bad
all
as
the
Galaxy 4 for that. Galaxy 4 is the worst
Yeah.
backdrop one I've seen.
yeah.
Because they haven't even got any rocks and things to break up the background, in between the studio floor and the cyclorama. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so all right, so we're all quite well disposed towards the web planet. I mean, I unreservedly adore it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a good story. Um,
Yeah. It must have been a hard one to pitch, even then, even back then, you know, to go in and say, "Oh, I've got this story. It's about this, a bunch of there's no humans in it. They're all insects, and they're fighting against this planet-eating cancer." And you
I
think,
think
okay,
It's probably you could only picture during the Hartnell era. I mean,
I think I
we're
think the
doing it for
thing.
Colin Baker, but I can't imagine them actually considering it for a
no,
No,
second.
no. J&T would took one look at it and go, no, we can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite
Yeah.
rightly. I love the fact that I think my favorite thing about the web planet is that it exists. It happened. They did that.
yeah,
It's kind of like, wow, guys, you are off on one. I
yeah,
really admire the balls of at least even trying it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely a favorite. Definitely a favorite of mine. And I also think it's one of the better plotted six-parters.
Yeah, it doesn't drag.
Mm.
I know that Vicky's stuck with the Doctor a lot of the time, but you need Vicky with the Doctor. She's very necessary there.
Well, especially also because nobody else talks, so otherwise you'd have nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. It is weird, the
Yeah.
lack of human characters. All these Menoptera, it's
Apart
very
from the
confusing.
animals.
The animals. It's very confusing trying to work out who's doing what, because all the Menoptera basically look the same. And you're trying to,
Yeah.
when you're trying to do the plot, it's like who's done that? Who is that? What's happened here? Okay, who just died?
Yeah.
Forget that one's clearly Harunda. This one's Propilius.
Yes.
There's Reston, being the best one. Although I love Propilius. I wish Propilius had become a companion.
Propilius is the best one.
Yeah, I know he is great. He is great.
Anemone's my favorite. Poor
I
Anemone.
emailed Julian Booth once. I found his email address and I emailed him saying, "Hello, I'm also a Booth." But he didn't reply.
Is he your uncle?
I was hoping he'd open up about the web planet, but he just didn't get back to me. So,
That's family for you.
Game of Vicar. I hope I always picture him talking like a Menoptera. It's kind of like, and God will come to you, and you will go to heaven. All that sort of it. I really hope his sermons are like that. And it'll be better if they were like Ian Thompson as an Optera. Actually, he'd be a fantastic vicar. You're well done,
Yes.
and go to heaven. If you believe Jesus. Just love that.
God will make mouths in the ground, and you will go down.
Can we do an Optera sitcom? Can we do an Optera soap opera? The soap opera. Right, we're doing that. Okay, we're doing that.
Should just do this
soap opera.
entire podcast as Optera.
Excellent. This is going to be a fun one then.
We're set immediately after Terror of the Zygons. Yeah, with Perry and
Harry's
And
Harry's hanging around.
Harry's there.
Excellent.
Okay. All right.
Excellent.
Good.
Didn't I say he's going to he's going to punch the animus at the end? There's not going to be the ice.
Yes.
He's just going to whack the animus one. Bash its bally head off, yeah. Well, it's got a head.
It's just-
That's the exciting thing. There's nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
So the story starts with the TARDIS getting dragged down to Vortis
yeah.
with big magnets, turns out. And yeah, they land there, and we see some giant ants wandering around on the surface.
Yeah.
We do.
A surface, obviously, in the 1980s, which is going to be a quarry.
No, I've been thinking about the design side of it. I don't see how you can do the Zarbi any other way.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking they probably would do them pretty much the same. They'd look better, but
They'd be
a bit better.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
really, you've got to have a human inside it. Even, we're not talking CGI or anything like that. You can't have that. Not in 1985. So it's people in suits.
Yeah.
Now I've thought for a while. I thought about the macro as well. The best way you could do them that could have been done is like the Garthim from the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
I mean, they're suits.
Yeah.
They're fiberglass suits. They've got more money, obviously.
Yeah.
But disguise the legs a bit more by putting all those kind of crawly leg things attached to the real legs outside. Maybe
Yeah.
something like that, I think, is what the zombie would look like. A bit like a Garthim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the main advantage really with doing it in the 80s is they've got lighter material, so it doesn't have to be kind of
Yeah.
heavy fiberglass.
They're going to make something a
Yes,
bit
maybe
easier to
using
move
that-
around
No,
in.
I disagree. I don't think you'd do it any other way in the 80s. Nowadays, you'd do it in EVA foam, I think. Or something like
Yeah.
that, some very lightweight material. But back in the 80s, I think you've only really got fiberglass as a way to do it. Sorry to pull design.
Oh, sorry.
It wouldn't give them quite such nice bums. though.
I'm not an expert in fiberglass.
Yeah. But so I suspect you've got equity members in big fiberglass ants giving it the thumb.
Yes.
What you have got is better editing.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the Zarbi crashing into a camera because they'll just go
Yeah.
again on take on things like that. The clumsiness of those costumes, I think, will be massively improved upon.
Yeah.
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 But they're not going to build this entire exterior set in the 80s either. It is going to be in a quarry.
Might be in a quarry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
What
yeah.
season are we doing it in? Are we on film on location or are we on video?
I think if it's after Zygons, it's late season 22. We've kind of extended season 22 outwards.
Yeah, so we're still
Yeah. So it's a mixture. Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. We're on film.
To the point where it's almost blending into season 23 now.
Maybe GNT will go and film it in Lanzarote or somewhere.
He might be persuaded.
Right,
know,
we're in this
Yeah.
incredible,
Yeah.
You know what?
we're in this incredibly
Logistically-
hot location. Put a big fiberglass ant on.
Logistically,
watch them bake.
you wouldn't do that because
No.
we've got the massive invasion scene in episode 4, 5, the big fight.
Oh yeah, you'd have to
You're
take
not going to
everything.
take all that
Yeah.
stuff to Lanzarote.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah, there's massive
or
costumes.
maybe-
Yeah, that's going to be too much.
Well, when you said about locations, so I did think to myself, hang on, you've got all that studio. You need to be in a studio for flying scenes.
Yeah.
Mind you, what we are going to have is CSO in those flying scenes, which I think is going to look absolutely awful. Paint box, you've got Quantel paint box.
Yeah,
So there
that's how
might be
they're
kind
going
of
to do
like
it.
little stills of
Yeah.
monopoly cut out that kind of fly across like the soldiers in Battlefield
Yeah.
when they fly towards the earth.
Yeah.
Look like that.
Yeah.
When we see Monopoly flying.
Yeah.
They had mail
Yeah.
flying around a quarry, so I mean, there must be ways of doing it. But yeah,
But it seems to me that they didn't really do much Ealing filming in the Colin Baker era. I don't recall off the top of my head.
Mm,
When did they go and do filming?
No.
at Ealing?
I don't think they did. No, no.
Which is just up the road from me. I'm so going to do a pilgrimage there soon.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to Ealing Studios and stand outside and go, "Wow, this is Ealing Studios." and have you seen the extra on the season 7 DVD, which is about the locations of Spearhead and things like that? Terror in the Suburbs.
I haven't watched that one yet.
It's
Yeah.
filmed exactly where I live. It's literally round here. I was just watching that and going, "That's weird." Yeah, that's weird. Watching that. But yeah, and Ealing High Street. I did walk up it last week just out for a walk one day. I thought I'm going to walk to Ealing High Street and see what I can see. And I saw a shop and I thought,
Yeah.
where the Autons came out. And then on this documentary, yes, that's where the Autons came out from. Smart
Nice.
Detective.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, it looks very different. It all looks very different.
Is
But-
any of Ealing Studios still there? Is it all gone?
Yes, Ealing, yeah. It's
Oh,
working still.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a totally pointless digression. Sorry,
We should go there and look. Yeah.
and walk away.
Yes, in case we actually use this bit, Rupert has moved down to Ealing. So yeah,
Yes.
indeed. Well, Acton, technically Acton.
Acton. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Acton and Ealing are practically the same thing. Yeah, I'm around the corner from where the Acton Hilton used to be, where they used to rehearse,
Nice.
and I'm
Nice.
45 minutes walk away from TV Centre. So I'm very much in BBC land. I'm living in the land that all this stuff we're talking about came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is quite. I tell you
Yeah.
what, you don't half notice things. Go, oh, hang on, that street looks familiar. Oh yeah, that's because they filmed here, didn't they? Because it's 5 minutes from TV Centre.
Yeah. Anywhere near BBC Centre, they must have filmed
Yeah.
for something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the TARDIS has been pulled down into this quarry, and they can't take
Yeah.
off. It's a bit like Death to the Daleks, isn't it? They've got no power.
Yes.
Yeah.
To the extent you feel like maybe Terry Nation watched this and thought, I'll use that.
Oh, like Terry Nation would ever steal an idea.
Yeah.
No.
That, I
No.
mean, that could never happen.
Terry wouldn't do that. Not
Nah,
Terry.
not Terry.
No, he
No,
just
not
reuses
Ted,
his
no.
own.
Actually, in all fairness, he is really good on ideas.
Yes.
How can I criticize Terry Nation sitting here as a writer myself? He made millions and had a mansion. I just haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure he knew quite how he did it.
He didn't. Ray Cusick did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
no
even
Bill
better. You
Trump.
get someone else to make millions for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very modern, isn't it? That's very 21st century.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, so they're forced down and they're in a quarry and the TARDIS is a bit knackered.
The TARDIS is knackered, yeah. And in the original version, Vicky, because she's really young, she can hear this hum, and she's not feeling terribly well.
And that's going to be Perry, isn't it?
I guess it's going to be Perry. Well, it's not going to be Harry,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
And
Yeah.
Harry will be very solicitous towards her. They're kind of like, oh, come and sit down, old thing.
Yeah, you find some medicine for her, right?
Let,
Yes.
let me gaze upon you and your cleavage.
Oh, is Harry a dirty old git? Is that how it works?
He's in the Navy.
Yeah.
He's qualified to work on sailors. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I'll say no more.
Well, shall we say that Harry and the Doctor put on their special atmospheric jackets?
Let's say that.
Let's say
Let's
that.
say that.
Yeah.
With their
Yes,
sort
because that gets Colin out of his fucking awful costume. doesn't
Yes,
it?
it does. We should
That's
be
true.
delighted. with that
Anything
again.
that gets.
of- yeah.
He'll be going, hurrah! And, yeah, getting into his ADJ.
Yes.
So they go outside where the air's a bit thin, but fortunately they've got these pipes coming out of their tits, and they're meant to help them in ways.
Yeah.
I love the ADJs. I want one. of them. One of these days, when I've got some money and I'm free to do whatever I want, I'm just totally going to build one of them. I'll put it next to me macro.
Kind of looks like an upturned sort of hot air hand dryer from a gent's toilet, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can imagine them going vroom in their faces.
It will be good if you press a button and it kind of goes your hair
Yeah.
back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell the space race hasn't properly begun at this point. They think this is the future.
Yeah.
Pipes.
I like it. I quite like that because it's like way advanced Gallifreyan technology. They don't need spacesuit types. It's like the spacesuits in the moon base. I mean, technically, yes, they look a bit like duvets, but I've always thought this is Gallifreyan stuff. This is way beyond our crappy space.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why it's really comfy looking. It's really comfy.
I love that Hartnell has a matching hat as well.
Yes.
I kind of wish that kind of Ian had gone, don't I get a hat, Doctor? No. Only I get the hat.
He's got a perfectly normal Astrakhan in the first episode, and then he gets this white one
Yeah.
just for this. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And he puts it on and just starts laughing and walks
Things
out.
like that are these really nice little stylistic touches that they didn't have to do.
No.
Anyway. I love it. I think little things like that are part of why I love Doctor Who so much. Of course, he's got his special ADJ hat. Of course he has. That we've never seen before and never see again.
With Colin, you'd probably get him coming out in a kind of white version of his costume. So he's got white stripy trousers and like kind of white sporty tie.
Or of
Yeah.
course, his ADJ is massively multicolored as well, just like his coat.
Yeah, that would be hideous. And Harry's looks like a duffel coat.
Of course, because Harry is made of duffel.
So they go outside where the air's quite thin, and Harry's gold pen flies off,
Yeah.
which is our first clue
Blimey.
that something's a bit amiss. Yeah, yeah.
I do kind of wish it had gone. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I might dub my copy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess on the inside, I guess Perry's got a special bracelet on back in the TARDIS.
How I
Yeah.
get it. So,
Yeah. Because her arm's going a bit funny at this point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously in the original version, Barbara's got a present from Nero.
She could have a gold necklace, which would then
Yeah.
give JNT the excuse to concentrate once more on her tits. Which is odd being JNT, but you know, it does happen a lot in the 80s. It does happen a lot in her era.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really debating whether to say she could have a piercing.
Oh,
I would like to speculate. Where?
Or two piercings.
oh dear.
Nuclear things, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not using any of this stuff. Okay, so
In her ears, listener. What were you thinking?
Yes.
This is on you, listener.
she's got a
That's
bracelet.
clearly filthy.
So yeah, she's got a strange arm that's doing its own thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, yeah, the Doctor and Harry they find a big old statue. There's a statue out there.
Yeah.
There's an acid pool.
Yeah.
It's all good fun.
Yeah, it's
And
loads of fun bosses, isn't it? Yeah, it's great.
yeah.
Back in
I like
the playground.
I like the bit where Zabi turns up behind the cardboard rock, and you can see it throughout the entire shot before
Yeah.
it pops up.
Yeah.
That reminded me. Yes, this is the guy that directed The Chase. Yeah, that's right.
I love the complete lack of health and safety in
Yeah.
making.
Yeah.
If I tried to put someone in a massive fiberglass ant costume and then said, right, go up a height, then my producer would say, what the fuck? And stop me. It wouldn't happen. Or it'd be a stunt person. But
Yeah.
no, Robert Jr. Yeah, go on, climb up there. Right. Oh, you've fallen off. Oh, never mind. Come on, man. Stand up again. Get on with it.
I never really got arms, have they? Because the arms are just
No,
little
they're
sticks.
just
So
little-
I guess the operator's arms are stuck inside that carapace. They can't
The
even.
operators were cross-armed inside like this.
Yeah, yeah,
So the operator arm, it's the only way you can fit the arms in, I guess, to the shape.
yeah.
They're not. I mean, of all the Doctor Who monsters, I've worn some. I've worn Cybermen, things like that, and they're not pleasant.
No,
But a Zarbi, no way would I want to be in a Zarbi.
no.
And the whole
Yeah.
thing of being bent over all day and getting a bad back, Robert Jules said he got a slip disc out of it, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Can't stand up.
Yeah, you can't stand up. You can't sit down. You can't do anything. It's terrible.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Subtle innuendos followed. Must be something inside. Yes, sure.
I think Colin would be really milking the acid pool scene, wouldn't he? You nearly walked into that, didn't
Yes,
you?
he would. Yeah.
If I wasn't here.
Yeah.
If I didn't save you, me.
Harry Sullivan is an idiot.
So yeah. Meanwhile, Perry's arms taking over. Her arms taking control, and she leaves the TARDIS. And I mean, this is
I thought, are we cutting this down to 4 episodes?
yes.
In that case, I would suggest that when Perry's arm takes over, that's when she starts fucking about with the console and apparently dematerializes.
Yeah.
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 Cuts them, wandering about.
Well, yeah, we don't need this cliffhanger here where, I mean, Ian gets stuck in a net and then he's not in a net anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Because it does just. I mean, that's weak. It went. Oh, did
Yeah.
it? Right.
Yeah.
Where is it? It's
Well,
got
that falling.
he absorbed it into his face,
Yeah.
Now Harry could do that because Harry's incredible.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, we can cut to this point where the Doctor and Harry go back and find the TARDIS gone.
Yeah.
Um,
I got to say, one of my favourite pieces of acting in all of Doctor Who is Hartnell going, "My ship, my TARDIS" at the end of episode 1. He just looks so destroyed.
yeah, he's lost, isn't he?
This man is completely destroyed by having his power taken away.
Yeah. Plus, I mean,
Yeah.
if this was a real situation, you can imagine, you're stuck on this planet. It seem to have any water or food or anything, and now your ship's gone.
Yeah.
How long are you likely to survive?
It would be terrifying.
Yeah.
It's very bleak, the web planet. People miss that when they're talking, because they all seem to go on about the production values, which I think are incredible considering. They just really shouldn't have tried in the first place in that way. But I don't care. It tells the story.
Actually, you're saying about Hartnell's acting. I love the bit he does with the ring, where he's trying not to, he knows he can use the ring to open the doors, and he's trying not to he doesn't want to tell.
He doesn't want to reveal it.
And he just keeps looking at it and kind of hiding it, and it's a very kind of clever bit of acting. Yeah,
Colin won't be doing that. Colin will be kind of striding around, going, "Oh, I've got an amazing ring, me." Don't misinterpret that.
Yes,
Harry, check my ring out. Look at it, Harry. Look.
Have you seen it? Have you got one? No.
I bet you wish you had a ring like mine.
Open doors? I don't think so. I would enjoy that.
Yes, not just anyone can get their finger in my ring. No. Anyway,
yes.
Where was I?
I was pushing it. Which oddly enough was what the Doctor said to Harry when he. Never mind.
Right, stop that. Silly.
So they're a bit stuck. Their jackets are running out of air. They have to take the jackets off, and the TARDIS is gone. Although I
think at this point, when they have to take the jackets off, just like that, I think something that Colin does is that he'll suddenly drop it, drop the bravado, and go really serious and quiet, which I think is absolutely brilliant stuff. It very much gives the suggestion of the Doctor is acting all the time. Putting out that persona. In exactly the way that Tom doesn't. Tom's the opposite. Tom's Doctor just is that. And that's that.
Yeah.
Colin will once in a while kind of drop the act and take it seriously. It always works really well for me.
Yeah. I mean, his speech in the Trial of Time Lord is still probably pretty much the best moment for his Doctor, really, isn't it? When he's the
railing at the Time Lords, 10 million years power. I actually think that's one of the greatest moments in Doctor Who. It's fantastic. Love it.
All my travellings throughout the universe, I have battled against evil, against power-mad conspirators. I should have stayed here. The oldest civilization, decadent, degenerate, and rotten to the core. Power-mad conspirators, darlings from Tarans, Cybermen. They're still in the nursery compared to us. 10 million years of absolute power. That's what it takes to be really corrupt.
I'm a big fan of the Sixth Doctor.
We do. Actually, we probably don't need to show that straight away, but I mean, we do learn fairly quickly that the TARDIS is being dragged across the surface. Maybe let's cut that this time. We'll go straight to Perry is walking across the surface, apparently unaffected by the lack of oxygen.
She got big lungs.
I knew you were going to go there.
Somebody had to say it.
Well, who wouldn't? Welcome again to Time Ram, the podcast with three middle-aged men who were all teenagers when Perry was on screen.
Gentlemen of a certain age.
We are of a certain age now, aren't we? We're kind of a certain age area.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Getting up there. Yeah.
Again,
stop it.
Like to do
So, she gets rescued by.
There. I mean, I don't mind. Up or between, it's all good. Up or down, I don't care which. Sorry. All right. Don't look at me like that. He's giving me a look again. Listen.
You done? Well, she's rescued by moths.
Yes.
Mm,
Now,
yeah,
moths eat clothes, right?
yeah.
So they could eat
Right.
Harry's clothes, and that would be great. Fine. Carry on.
Isn't it? I'm sure there's a Tim Quinn and Dickie Howard cartoon of Perry on Vortis.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is. And they eat the clothes.
Yes.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I remember that as well.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think it's in that Day in the Life of a Television Producer, which is in one of the fun book or one of those.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I totally remember that. Yeah.
Listener, I can only apologise. I did try.
Don't blame us. Blame Tim Quinn and Dickie Howard.
Yeah. It's not our fault. Blame them on Optera. I blame Richard Martin. Because why not?
I think the Monoptera, I'm not sure what the costumes would be like, but I think the faces would be along the lines of the Gicondans in the Twin Dilemma.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're birds, but more insecty, but that sort of thing.
I think, no, good call. Yeah, I agree.
I did think
Yeah.
that they wouldn't cover the faces up in this, and then I remembered the Cryons.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it would make more sense if you could get more of a performance out of them. That would help.
Yeah. I think something like the Gicondans. I don't know what they'd be wearing, but
Again, like the Larvae, I'm kind of drawn back to going, what the hell else can you do? With the budget you've got, what the hell else can you do?
Big old moths, isn't it?
Have people as butterflies.
Big old moths.
They might be a bit more tight-fitting in the 80s. They might be kind of like Lycra. They'd invented
They'll be
Lycra by
Lycra,
then.
won't they? And they'll all be played by Keith Hodiak.
I like it when Vrestrin sticks her arms up in the air and the top lifts up a bit, and then you can see she's basically wearing dungarees. It's kind of...
I like that with Perry.
Stop it.
Can you imagine all those poor actors, out in a quarry somewhere, in Lycra body stockings? They're just going to be freezing their bollocks off.
Yeah.
Well, there's Arby waddling past going, I'm always fuck me, hurrah.
And a lot of these actors turn up again in the chase, don't they? There's an awful lot of crossover between the two stories.
Arn Gordon, certainly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Arn Gordon, probably the best known one, but Rosalind de Winter comes back as well, and at least some of the others.
Oh no, he wasn't in it. He was nearly cast in it, but wasn't. I wonder if Martin Jarvis knows that Peter Purvis wasn't cast in it because Richard Martin thought he was too good to be a Monoptera.
Yeah.
I wonder if massively successful actor Martin Jarvis has ever been told that.
I wonder if Richard Martin was sparing Peter Purvis's feelings by not wanting to go, yeah, your movements are shit. I'm going to use you for something.
Maybe. Yeah, your insect movement's not good, man. You're not strong on your insect movement. Ross won't have it. Ross will just look at you and shout, and then you'll be gone.
Weak movement.
Yes.
Weak insect movement.
Yeah, so we do get a quick scene where the Doctor realizes that this is Vortis, but it shouldn't have any moons.
Now, being the Colin Baker era, is there going to be a picture of Tom Pertwee somewhere, like in Time Lash? I've been here before.
Yeah. Probably the statue would be him, won't it?
Just with his hands on his hips.
Yeah.
Amazing, because there'll be a continuity advisor who will be saying, sorry, I'm having a surreal moment. Yeah. Right.
Who you're talking about.
Maybe I won't go there.
Yeah. No, they're a big statue of Pertwee with his hand on the back of his neck.
Yeah. Or doing the pose that every modern Doctor seems to have had to do. They've all taken. Have you noticed that 1970 photo shoot of Pertwee giving all the hand gestures and stuff?
The hands towards the camera.
Done that. All the new ones have done that.
Yeah.
Particularly Capaldi. You really get the impression that Capaldi's going, I've always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
He's really living it.
Was all over that shit.
Well,
absolutely.
There's a great picture, isn't there, taken by Mark Gatiss in Capaldi's trailer where Capaldi's managed to put on Pertwee's
Right.
jacket, and you can see
Yeah.
Gatiss reflected in the mirror, and they're both just grinning like loons. They're just having they're living their best lives.
Commercial time.
Hi, I'm Juliet.
And I'm Nathan.
Experience Doctor Who from the very beginning through a classic fan's eyes.
And through the eyes of a new Who fan.
Reminisce and relive those classic moments with Nathan as he offers fun insight.
Or experience them for the first time with Juliet as she dwells on social issues, history, fashion, and the size of a flashlight.
We're the Time Streams podcast.
Find us on Spotify, Stitcher, or Apple Podcasts. You have been listening to Time Ram. Oomph, Time Ram.
Is Vortis going to have a pink sky, like in Mind Warp?
Well, yeah, if you want the moons there, we're going to have to assume they've got Quantum available, and they're going to be doing that. Yeah,
But it is not far off every single shot.
Yes.
It's going to be expensive. I think it'll be like Survival. Survival, once in a while, you get a long shot and you get the Quantel stuff going on.
Yeah.
And you're in a close up or a mid shot, and it's it's just
Normal.
background.
Yeah.
Time in the Rani's a bit like that as well, isn't it? They try and have as much where there's just like cliffs in the background as possible, so you don't actually have to see the sky.
Yeah.
So it'll be like that, I think. I think it's going to have a very, very pink sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first time they used it, the paint box was Mind Warp, wasn't it? Which is just
I think so.
saturated.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Extreme.
But brief,
Yeah.
fortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. So, before we start, we passed. I don't know. Before we were, I don't know.
Barry Williams is not making sense.
Where we left it, plot-wise,
Yes.
was the Doctor realizes this is Vortis, but there's too many moons. There shouldn't be any. And then meanwhile, the Menoptera, they've taken Peri's bracelet off, and she's kind of come to a little bit. But they're a bit suspicious of her.
Is there going to be one that's lusting after her? Because there's always an alien lusting after Peri.
Enough with the lusting after Peri.
Is
No,
that
they're
why she's
moths.
come to?
They're not mammals.
But it happened a lot. Mind you, there were always aliens lusting after Barbara as well.
But not Menoptera. They're not mammals. They're not, they show no interest in Barbara, and I don't expect them to show any interest in Barry.
Zombie Mom.
They don't lactate. They're not, Anyway, I'm not going there.
I don't lactate either, but I can show interest in Peri.
You are disgusting.
Yeah, so they're suspicious of Perry, and they're scared of the Zarbi.
Yeah.
And we're not quite sure what Zarbi are at this point. You could probably make a fairly educated guess.
No, in our version, we haven't seen them properly yet, have we?
Not really, no.
That'll
No,
be
they're
the
very
end
much in the
of episode one.
background.
Surely the reveal of the monster.
Is this like 25-minute episodes or this 45-minute episodes?
This is 45, isn't it? For
45, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I've just thought of a nice cliffhanger, which would be the Zarbi invading the cave, the Menoptera's cave, and all that sort of bit, and taking them. But it's too early for 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So forget that.
Yeah. Great, so.
I love the crystal set.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love the crystal set.
Quite literally a crystal set. Yeah.
It's literally a crystal set, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very 1960s thing. That's, writers who were children who probably had crystal sets.
Yeah.
Or at least were aware of them. They're very much in the consciousness.
I think you could build them. I think, there was a lot of that kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
It was the sort of thing my dad was into because he was like, obviously, he's electronics and building things. He was constantly making things like that. Yeah. Yeah. So we got 3 Menoptera there. Obviously, the significant ones are Vestrin, who is sort of relatively friendly, I would say. We've also got Herostar, who's very, very suspicious and basically just wants to kill her.
Yeah.
And there's another one there who's not in it for very long. Is that
Krunda?
Krunda? Yeah. Krunda.
I think the names are great. I love the names in the Web Planet.
I like the way that Forestian calls Ian Heron.
Heron, it's
throughout.
great. Yeah.
Really, it does a lot of heavy lifting there in terms of establishing their
Absolutely
culture.
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very simple, completely inexpensive thing. It's clever. It's clever.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Barbara gets called Harborough or something. Yeah.
Abaddon.
Yeah.
And they manage Vicky. I like the fact that they manage the word Vicky, but that's just one syllable, kind of almost 2 syllables. It seems like anything more than that they can't manage, and that's kind of what it's like when you're trying to learn a foreign language.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because my friend Elaine told me the story once that she was over in France, and she could not get the French people that she was staying with to call her Elaine. They kept saying Hélène, which obviously is Helen.
Yeah.
In French, but they couldn't get their head around Elaine. They were always Hélène.
It's a mindset, isn't it?
No, Elaine.
It's not about making the syllables with your mouth. It's about the thought pattern behind it. And it's one of the things I love about the Web Planet. When we get to the Optera later, the whole thing about making mouths in the wall. I know everyone says it, but that's good stuff. I think.
Yeah.
Proper alien stuff.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah. It is great that you get that sense that all these names are from the same language. I know we've mentioned this before. You get some stories where people have names all over the place, and you think they don't even sound like they're from the same society, but they do here. So.
Yeah, Vortis. I think it's a really well realized alien society.
Yeah,
despite the fact that it's people in butterfly costumes and massive fiberglass ants and stuff, it's the thinking behind it. It's the script. I absolutely credit Bill Strutton for this. His one story is well plotted, and it's got some really nice alien concepts in it.
It's very imaginative. Yeah.
And it's clearly very tailored to 60s television and what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
So much of it is done with suggestion and innuendo.
Yeah.
But we don't do suggestion and innuendo on this podcast. So
not at all in that posing role.
Never. We never rise to that sort of thing.
So the Doctor and Harry, they get captured. They get captured by the Zarbi. This is where episode 1 would kind of end, isn't it? If we had 25-minute episodes. They get captured by the Zarbi and taken to the Zarbi base, which is called the Carcinome.
Yeah.
And that's where the TARDIS is. It's been dragged there.
So years after I first saw the Web Planet, I encountered the word carcinoma. And I went, oh my God, that's clever. I said, I didn't know the connection to cancer, but yeah. And Maureen O'Brien's very eloquent about that on the DVD stuff. She talked about how the idea of cancer going through a planet resonated with her and really, sold it. And it is. That's what the Animus is. I really like this story.
They do have those lines, don't they? Where they say once the carcinome's extended all the way around the planet, that's it. It's all over.
That's it. Yeah. It's dead.
Yeah. Because there's lots of other bits as well where they kind of like when they meet the Optera and they're saying that the water has turned to poison, where and that sort of thing. It is that sense that it's kind of infecting the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very clever.
It's vivid stuff. It's vivid science fiction writing. I really rate it.
Yeah. So the Menoptera originally came from Vortis. This is their planet. They got forced off by the Animus, and now they need to invade to get their planet back. They've been living on one of the moons. Pictos, I think, gets mentioned quite a lot.
Yeah.
So there's someone up there.
I love that they can fly to the moons from the planet, just on their wings.
Yeah. It's impressive.
I suppose it is possible if you had
if it's in a very low orbit,
a very dense atmosphere and quite a low orbit.
There clearly isn't, because we know there isn't, because they say so. The Doctor says so, but that's why they've got the ADJs. Yeah, I did.
Well, the trouble is, if a moon is orbiting within the planet's atmosphere, it's going to get slowed down by friction, and then it's just going to crash onto the ground. So it's not going to.
This is the ISOP galaxy, right? The laws of physics are fucked up in the ISOP galaxy now.
The laws of physics are fucked up. Yeah.
Maybe it's like just outside the atmosphere, so like that last little bit, they have to hold their breath. and swim through space to get to the moon.
They swim through space.
Yeah, like on Fireball XL5.
Oxygen pills, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they take their oxygen pills and they're grand. Fantastic.
Yeah.
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 I don't see anything wrong with that.
Fine. It's the ISOP way.
It is the ice way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I point out, by the way, that there's an inconsistency in Captain Jack? I mean, it's suggested that the face of Bo is from the ISOP galaxy.
Yeah.
Well, it's stated, but Captain Jack's not. He's from Earth, and he clearly becomes the face of Bo. So I want to know.
Does he take a holiday in the ISOP galaxy or something like that?
I think we should all take a holiday in the ISOP galaxy.
Yes.
It'd be great. You like taking all the drugs in one go.
Yeah, that's the good shit. Yeah, so they're trying to get a signal to the Menoptera invasion force. They've had to invade before they're ready, but they can't get through to them. And the Zarbi attack this little forward party of Menoptera. One of them dies. I think it's Hlunda. And Vestrian escapes. And Hrostar and Perry are captured.
Yes. And Hrostar gets his wings torn off at this point, which we don't see.
Gets his wings torn off. It's horrific,
really horrible,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's a really nice. Obviously, it's done for production reasons. Yeah, you can't show that, but I love that they're just closing on Barbara's reaction to that happening.
Oh, yeah.
I think even on the Sixth Doctor's era, they probably wouldn't show it because
probably not.
It's not nice.
No, that's a horrible thing to do. Again, conceptually, the web planet's very vivid to me.
Yeah. And then we don't see them again for about an episode. So, and then by the time you see him again, he stops screaming.
We're not going to have that. And we're not going to have Perry taking a week's holiday because the series isn't on 45 weeks in a year for a start.
No.
Well, we don't need to because this is all going to be in the same
also, we don't need to,
45-minute episode. It's
absolutely,
fine.
Yeah.
Maybe she's off screen for a little while, but, it's fine. In fact, they probably will cut back to her arriving at the Creative Needles or something,
Yeah.
Do you think maybe in the Colin Baker era, the Zarbi wouldn't be black? They would be a kind of oxblood colour. They'd be like red ants.
Probably, yes.
Just to give it a bit more colour, I'm not sure they would have a black monster,
I mean, I think you'll find that the costumes were not black; they were brown.
I didn't know that.
No, it's the 60s. Everything was brown.
There's those colour photos that were taken by the Australian magazine that came to visit the production. There's one colour photo. I've got 3 colour photos of Zarbi, original colour, and they were brown.
I mean, they might be tempted to make them green, a bit like grasshoppers. I do know that on the Blu-ray commentary, not the commentary, the behind the sofa, isn't it?
Yeah.
They insist on calling them grasshoppers all the way through. You're like, really? Really, Janet Fielding?
They're a bit ant-like. Very ants.
They're distinctly anti.
Yeah. I'm not sure they're paying attention, but yeah.
Oh, what a shame it's not Tegan. Because then she could call her, she could call Zombo Auntie Vanessa. Thank you. Go and lie down now.
Just drop the mic and away you go. Right.
Yep.
Back at the base. The Doctor gets put under this massive hairdryer.
Yes.
Now, people call it a hairdryer. I've never seen a hairdryer that looks like a massive perspex cylinder. That's not what hairdryers look like.
That's kind of what they looked like in the 70s, though, isn't it? In the 60s and 70s, they had those.
I think they mean those things they had in hairdressers, didn't they?
Oh, the twin set and pearl things. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Well, I mean, my grandmother had one in her house, so that they were around.
All right, you were middle class. We get it.
I'm afraid I haven't.
I didn't have one in my house.
I haven't been thinking about hair in great detail for about 20 years. I'm not an expert on these subjects.
Yeah, we haven't said much about casting, actually, have we? We haven't really cast any of these characters.
I think
it's hard to cast. Yeah.
Well, you're going to get, like Sarah Green, you mentioned the Cryons earlier, you're going to get like a Blue Peter presenter or something like that. As one of maybe Koo Stark's going to be resting. Which would probably be terrible.
Yes. Special movement by Koo Stark.
I think Rosalind de Winter is really, really good.
Yeah.
She's clearly like
Well, she's coached
Nimoy
them all,
kind
hasn't
of
she?
set the pattern for all the Vulcans in Star Trek. It all comes from him,
Yeah.
Neil's performance. She is the Optera.
Yeah.
She is insect movement.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I like a bit of insect. That wasn't dirty.
Yeah, it didn't sound it
How could it be?
much.
Look, I'm not into insect movement, all right?
You see, the more you protest, the more we think maybe you are.
Yes. Well, that's just projection.
Was it every accusation is an admission?
Yeah.
When we finished here, you'll just get a box out with some insects in and just like, be moving them from one place to another. Going, "Oh,
The insect movement.
get to the left there." Oh.
Look at all them legs.
Look at that abdomen action.
Oh, nice thorax.
I'm not a Centauran.
Look at the mandibles on that.
Nor am I Gurney Slade. Yeah, listener, we know our shit. we do old television here. By God, do we do old television?
So a voice comes down this tube, this big old tube.
Yeah.
Played in the original by I can't remember her name. It was Christine. What was it?
Catherine Fleming.
Catherine Fleming, who was obviously a voice coach at RADA. She was quite well known.
Paul Martin Jarvis.
Yeah.
And so he said he was delighted when he turned up on set, and there was his teacher.
Yeah.
Which must have been actually really reassuring for a very young actor starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it his first part? It's not. Maybe it's not his first television, but it's not far off his first television.
Yeah, it's got to be close, hasn't it? Yeah.
And why has the new series never done the return to Vortis and get Martin Jarvis back and Helio's become an absolute dictator? Yeah, Nazi Menoptera.
Yeah.
Pitch it to Russell,
Yeah.
Topical.
Be topical now. Nazis are everywhere.
I think the voice in the 80s would be I'm tempted to say Fenella Fielding, but I'm aware I keep bringing up Fenella Fielding all the time for these things. But I think it would be an actress of that type. JNT would go for an older actress with a kind of.
It's Helen Mirren. Of course,
it's Helen Mirren. Yeah.
She's quite famous in the mid 80s.
Yeah, she's done a lot of work on Doctor Who.
Doctor Who's been good to her over the years, you know.
Yeah.
She knows this.
She's done a lot of bit parts. She's played a lot of monsters. JNT took pity on her.
Yeah.
Can I get Peggy Mount? What are you doing in my web?
That's a very different animus.
Yes. It's a completely different animus.
For some reason, that made me think of Wilfred Bramble as the animus.
Yeah.
Which is what to behold. Yeah.
Out!
I'm cold! Are they on Pictos? Menoptera.
Semi-zombie on you.
You dirty old man.
Oh, you dirty old massive jellyfish thing.
We've never cast Harry H. Corbett in anything, have we? We should do that.
No.
Well, you know, the night is young.
He'd be gone. Unfortunately, be gone by this
He
time.
would.
That's true.
He would. Well,
That's
so
true.
we'll go for Bramble.
Yeah, I'm afraid they're both.
But Helen's still there, so we've got her. She's banked.
Yeah.
How's it work?
Yeah. Helen's just made 2010. That wasn't very successful. She's, she's available. Okay. So, the voice comes down this tube. It thinks they're Menoptera initially.
Yeah.
And it's eventually persuaded that they're humans. At which point it offers them their freedom for the secrets of the TARDIS. So the Doctor is persuaded to bring out the astral map.
Yeah.
Which is quite a nice little prop.
I love the astral map. I love that whole alcove, that little science alcove that the Doctor has in the TARDIS. That we haven't seen until now. Comes back in the chase and possibly in Galaxy 4, who knows? Yeah, I'm fond of his little science archive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never seen it before, but it's just there. It's just there it is. Yeah.
It's just there, and exactly the way it wasn't in Unearthly Child when
Yeah,
Cave of Skulls, when we see the other side of the TARDIS set, it's just roundels.
Yeah.
The TARDIS was incredibly plastic in the 60s. It just,
Yeah.
it feels like this one day.
Yeah.
One day it feels like being a really small cupboard with the console up against a wall.
Yeah.
And other days it feels like being fucking massive.
Yeah. Funny that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's capricious, the TARDIS.
It is. It is.
Imagine your house was like that. You walk out on one, it's like, oh, right, the kitchen isn't there anymore. Good, fine.
Maybe it was like a very kind of 60s kind of modular thing, kind of where he could just like move walls around. He just pulls them on casters, pulls this wall away, and there's his science.
That's probably the only reasonable explanation.
I've always wondered because when we grew up, the TARDIS set was standardized in the 70s. Basically, in the Colin Baker era, your TARDIS set is the TARDIS set, and it doesn't change each week. And that's what I always expect. And then I remember watching the Hartley era for the first time, Troughton era, what there is of it, going, this is all over the shop.
Yeah.
And thinking to myself, did 60s viewers not ever go, hang on, the TARDIS is completely different. It's a tiny bit in a corner now, rather than being a vast cavernous space. Because it is obvious. It really is obvious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that scene where they haven't got room for the console, so Hartnell literally mimes it.
Yeah, in the chase.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to mime pulling a button now. It's kind of like, well, could you not get it in with the visualizer?
Yeah.
But supposedly Hartnell was kind of obsessive about kind of which buttons he pressed.
He wasn't. Look, people have said that. Caroline Ford says that, but I've checked.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a console twat. And now there's no rhyme or reason to what what at all.
Yeah.
Apart from the two switches that actually clearly in real life make the time rotor go.
Yes.
Whenever it dematerializes, it's the big lever first, but then he goes round to the other side and goes click with two switches. Yeah. And I think one of them makes it go round and round inside, one of them makes it go up and down.
Yeah.
There you go, listener. TARDIS knowledge.
TARDIS secrets. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, yeah, the Doctor gets a plan. Yes. So he persuades the Animus to immobilize its forces in the local area, and this freezes the local Zarbi that are guarding him. And Harry takes this opportunity to slip away.
Considering the size of Harry, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah,
he's not a away kind of guy. He's a kind of bulk away.
There's a lot of stuff here after he's gone. We can maybe speed this up. We can have Harry still there when the Doctor intercepts the Monoptera signal. They realise that the Monoptera are going to land in the area of the Cradle of Needles, which incidentally we happen to know is where Perry's been taken.
Indeed. Harry's going to be really pushing to save Perry because that's what he does. Any woman is a damsel in distress, and he's going to save them. That's Harry, isn't it?
That's what he does.
So he's going to be just like straining at the leash to go and save Perry.
Okay, so Harry gets outside and he meets Vrestian in a little sequence which in the original version is really hard to follow. It's really there's a quick little cutaway to it and you go, what? And there's also some scenes here where the Doctor and Vicky realise that the Zarbi are scared of spiders, but I'm not sure it really goes anywhere. I don't think they do anything with it.
They use it once. I mean, they do use it. He says use the spider or something like that.
Right, yeah, there must be.
No, they don't use it. No, he says use the spider, but then
they don't.
They put a thing on her, a necklet on her before she gets a chance to. So
yeah.
I think the point of it, this is something that seems to have got lost in design. I think the original idea of the Animus was that it was spider-like.
It was meant to be a big spider.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look anything like
and
a
that's
spider.
why they're scared of it, obviously. But having said that, I love the little spider prop they've got in there. It seems to be made, as far as I can see, out of pipe cleaners.
It appears to have about 4 legs, so it doesn't look much like a spider to
It's
me.
got 4 legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite friendly, and it's not
Yeah.
spider-like at all. And why has he got it?
Yeah.
I don't carry 4-legged spiders around with me in Perspex boxes. I do not.
Well, I mean, he says it's one of his specimens, but you're thinking, yeah, but why are you keeping it in a map?
Yeah.
Where is the logic to that?
Yeah. But why have you got this specimen in this little box? What's that about?
Oh, the Doctor's strange.
He's a weirdo. Yeah.
I can't improve at this very moment.
So yeah, we get a little bit of history here. Vestrin explains that the Menoptera were made the Zarbi were made militant by the Animus.
I love the fact that Vreston, I think, at some point says one of the Menoptera says that the Zarbi were like cattle, and that kind of makes me think of some invading force comes to Earth and like all the cows get really raggy.
Yeah.
Moo you fucker.
Oh yeah. They kind of use that again, though, don't they? In Frontios, because that's what they say about the tractators that without the Gravis,
they're right. Yeah,
they're just harmless burrowing. I think they call them insects, but they don't look much like insects.
No.
And I hadn't realised until I watched it again this time that the larvae guns are meant to be Zarbi larvae.
Yeah.
Zarbi larvae.
Yeah.
Zarbi larvae.
So, yeah.
So they grow up into big Zarbis.
Yeah, I love the venom guns.
Yeah.
I think in this version, they'd maybe have to put them on like kind of remote control cars with big chunky wheels to go across the location.
You might do them smaller. You might do them remote control, like canine.
So they'd be kind of like zooming across.
Yeah.
Until they have to get splattered against walls.
That's a very funny
Which is the only way to kill them.
Cut away so you can't see the bloke that's underneath it, and then he pushes it into the wall.
And this is sound effect just goes. Yeah.
Top impression of death of a venom grub. Larvae, rather, sorry. Venom grubs in the book, isn't it?
What's that?
Venom grubs in the book.
Venom grubs in the book. Yeah.
Are they not? Are they never called venom grubs?
I think they're just called larvae guns in the
story. Yeah.
TV version. Yeah.
Venom grub's better.
Venom grub is better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then some Zarbi attack. They arrive, and then Harry and Vrestin fall down a big hole, and I guess that's probably around about the end of episode 1.
And there's that bit where there's someone laughing their tits off.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that. It hasn't been taken out from the DVD. There's someone pissing themselves laughing. I think it's Reston. I think it's Rosalind de Winter. Sounds like her. But yeah.
I love that bit.
It's kind of like they fell onto a bit of mattress behind the set and so on, and she just pisses herself laughing at it. Probably at the ridiculousness of what she's doing of a day for a job.
The only reasonable reaction.
I think,
yeah.
Because they drop kind of loads of sand or whatever it is on them as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's possibly what triggers the laughter is they drop so much of this shit on them.
And now that William Russell's gone, we'll never. Rosalind de Winter's still around, as far as I know.
What's still around?
Rosalind de Winter.
Is she still around? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. I'd love to see an interview with her.
Yeah.
I'd love that. She sounds like a fascinating person.
They come around deep underground. They've fallen quite a long way.
Mm-hmm.
And they meet the Optera.
Yeah.
I love the way it's depicted in coming quite a long way by Preston going, it seems like we fell a long, long way.
Yeah.
Kind of good old 62.
Yeah, it's an episode later, and they wake up on a different set, so we know they've fallen a long way. Yeah.
So we're into our episode 2 now, yes?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that the end of episode 1? They're falling down the pit, and also...
We're about halfway through the story, so that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
End of episode 3 in the 60s version.
Mind you, it is the Colin Baker era, so we should really end on a crash zoom on the Doctor.
Yeah.
The
Doctor finds a spider. Crash zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody's laughing their tits over the background.
The Optera aren't terribly friendly at first. They take a bit of persuading to get them on side. They're quite keen on killing them initially.
Yeah.
And that's what Ian's doing from pretty much all of episode 4. So we don't need to mention
I think the Optera are on hard drugs all the time. One that explains why they talk like this, and secondly, they're going to consult the chasm of light. The fucking chasm of light, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the good shit.
I love the Optera. Like,
I
Optera
love
are
the
actually
Optera.
my
I love the Optera.
favorite race in
I
this.
love their extra little arms that kind of flap
Extra
about.
little foam arms, yeah.
Great. Yeah.
And they don't really have any legs, do they? Their legs kind of start at their ankles.
But they got
have a very limited range of movement.
They got the sort of massive shoes on, haven't they? They're kind of shuffling about in these huge
trainers.
shoes.
They've got they seem to have kind of trainers on.
Yeah,
which aren't disguised at all.
No.
Yeah, so that's hey, evolution. Like I said, the Isop galaxy is fucked up.
Yes.
Or maybe it isn't. Maybe it's our galaxy that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe you should evolve shoes. You should just grow with shoes, because why not? That would make sense.
Yeah.
So the Optera are a more sensible species than we are.
In previous years, I might not have agreed with that, but at the moment, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know,
look at the world and going, yeah, I'll go down and consult the chasm of light.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Why not?
Up for it, you know.
Why not? What the hell?
Anything's worth a try at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We cut back to Perry and Hrostar in the Crate of Needles. They've been enslaved. There's a bunch of Menoptera there working as slaves, so we get to meet Propillus and Helinia. Yeah, who immediately become the best characters.
They really do. Yeah. Helinia's kind of hot, isn't it? For a butterfly. She's kind of hot.
Yeah.
I'd do Helinia. But I'm thinking of Reston. And her insect movement.
She's got the best movement. Yeah. There's lots of stuff here going on with Zarbies and control collars. They like to stick control collars on people, and then they stop. They kind of get a bit listless, and they can't really look after themselves.
As do we all in the end.
As do we all. They're threatening the Doctor with that, and he's kind of hiding things in the astral map and stuff like that. There's a lot of that going on. Meanwhile, the Menoptera slaves, they get ready to rebel against their masters, the Zarbies. Partly because they need to warn the Spearhead Force that their weapons, their electron guns, are in fact useless. And so when they land, they're coming into a trap. They're all gonna die basically.
I must confess, whenever I watch that episode, and they're all going, "Oh, I can't wait for the Spearhead and stuff." It's like kind of you waiting for the season 7 box set or something.
Yeah.
Whenever they say Spearhead, I can't help.
You can't say Spearhead without thinking of it.
Yeah. This is an odd one. I think we find ourselves talking more about our love for the original story rather than changing it.
Yeah. It's hard to know. I mean, the plot is very straightforward, isn't it? It's hard to know how you would change it, really. I don't know what you would do to it. There's a bit of to and fro between different characters, but there's not a lot of subtext here.
And as we've discussed, I don't see how else you even in the 80s, how else could you do the characters, the costumes, the aliens?
Yeah.
They're still going to be blokes in suits.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do much different.
And it is such a 60s concept. And it's like, I can't imagine them doing it.
It was interesting to mention the Cryons earlier, because I've always thought they're a little bit akin to with all the sort of fluttering hand movements. It's clearly an attempt to, in performance, in body language, to make them alien.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as successful as the Menoptera, but then the Menoptera, the Menoptera just goes all in.
Yeah.
Right, we're doing this now. It's got balls of steel in that way.
That's the thing. You've kind of got to do it like that in a way, because
how else can you?
If you try to make the characters more humanoid, the more humanoid you make the characters, the more crap it would be, really, to be honest, because it just doesn't work with humanoid characters. They've got to be other, they've got to be alien.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is all fairly naive, capture and escape type stuff.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot else to it plot wise.
It's a simple story of the bad invader and the again it's probably, it's a writer who grew up during the war.
Yeah.
And you've got a simple story of the bad Nazis.
Yeah, it's good versus evil. It's
good versus evil. It's a very
no
simple
nuance there.
versus evil story. Yeah. The Menoptera are all good.
Yeah.
And the Animus is bad.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is, I mean, you were saying before about Roop about the story being sort of very original, and it kind of is in the sense that, unlike a lot of other Doctor Who stories, you can't sort of see where it's ripped off from. Even like the Daleks, if you look at it in a way, the original the Daleks, it's kind of ripped off a bit from H.G. Wells, and but this is like.
Yeah.
You think, where did he get this from? Is he just watching ants in his garden?
Just watching ants in his garden.
Watching ants in his garden.
Absolutely.
Oh, look at them ants.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that movement.
We call the episode 4. Look at that movement.
Oh no, that's terrible. The more you think about it, the worse it sounds.
That's why we should do it. Fool.
Yeah, the Doctor realizes that there's some force acting on gold on this planet, and that's what's going on there. Meanwhile, the slaves, led by Propellus, they take out one of the venom guns, larvae guns, larvae guns, venom grubs. Yeah,
venom grubs, larvae guns.
Yeah,
that's you gotta have a system.
Gotta have a system.
That's not going to work on audio at all, is it?
No. But that's fine. That's never stopped us.
Anyway, the slaves escape the crate of needles. They run into this there's the plateau where the spearhead's meant to land. They go there. Meanwhile, I should probably just say this again. The Doctor realizes that there's some force acting on gold on this planet. And he uses this knowledge to reverse one of the slave collars. But unfortunately, the Animus immediately notices.
I do like that the Animus takes no shit from the Doctor.
The Animus is on him. He's on him.
Really taking no shit.
Yeah.
The bit where he's got the recorder and so on that we're coming up to later, and she just makes it play and goes, "Really?" And he's just there going, "Yeah, sorry."
That's how you got me. Yeah.
The Animus is actually clever.
Yeah, because I mean, the Doctor knows exactly where the spear's going to land. He's just trying not to tell the Animus yet, because then his usefulness is over. But at this point, the Animus just loses all patience and actually puts a slave collar on him, and that's it.
Yeah.
He's enslaved.
I wouldn't mind being enslaved by Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
Those slave collars are quite a nice design, aren't they? Because they look like they're something that was designed for. Well, they were designed for the Zarbi to be able to hold. But it looks like it was designed for that.
It's not like it's got insect feel of it. Antenna. Yeah.
And it fits Zarbi and humans more or less equally well, which is very easy in design terms. Yeah.
Oh, the Animus is so clever.
Yeah. We get to the bit which I guess is the climax of the story, which is the spearhead comes in. Various Menoptera land, and we have a bit of a big old battle scene. They're led obviously by Captain Helio, played in the original version by a very young Martin Jarvis.
It's going to be Martin Jarvis in this one as well.
Okay.
Why not?
Why not?
He was in Varos.
He was in Varos. Yeah.
I don't know how old he was then, in his 50s, I guess. I'm not sure about suspending a 50-year-old actor from strings, but...
I love that bit where he takes off on the Kirby wire and he just kind of goes... He goes off like a fucking rocket. I'm thinking, was he expecting that? Was he just expecting to gently take off? But he just...
His original soundtrack and actor going, fuck me!
Yeah, I mean, that bit's eating, isn't it? So they flip them all over the place.
We, at the end of Time Run, we get to the point of, is it better or worse? I'm not sure about this bit. In many ways, it might be better, but if they're using Quantel and things like that to just, do little cutouts of the Menoptera that fly around, it could look appalling.
See, they might just ditch the flying altogether. I know that
I
sounds
think they'd keep
ridiculous,
it to an
but
absolute minimum. I think, they'd have maybe 1 or 2 shots of them landing, and then that's on the ground from then on.
yeah,
I think there'll be a lot of chroma key, and
yeah,
unfortunately, that's going to let the side down because chroma key in old Doctor Who is never any good.
Yeah.
Really,
no,
very few times when it works properly. I'm just convinced. Very
But
few.
they'd have a bit more space. They might have more extras, I guess, for a bit of a battle scene.
Yeah, they might have less
They might have less.
or fewer. They might have less because inflation and things like that.
Maybe, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The battle goes poorly for the Menoptera.
yeah,
Well, because they've got those. I love their guns.
The
I
electron
Yes.
love
guns.
their guns. They've got
Yeah.
these great guns that little prongs come out and it goes. "Ding, ding, ding." It's kind of like they're deliberately designed to look pathetic and sound pathetic.
Probably.
Oh, I've got you. Oh, I haven't because my gun's shit. Sorry. And and the Zarbi just kind of go.
yeah.
I mean, there's even a shot I think where one kind of goes.
Yeah, they have to flee. They hide in the Temple of Light,
They do.
which is, I guess, a sort of big underground thing.
It's overground.
It's
It's
what?
overground because you see them go into it.
They go in through a kind of a cave, though, don't they? It's where there's kind of
It's
a bit of
it's a big
cliff
rock
face.
and it opens
Yeah.
Falls back
they
and they're
go
yeah.
back.
So it's hidden in some way. There's
Yeah.
there's a shaft above them, but it's not obvious from the outside.
That's clever of them, Optera. It's almost like they knew an invasion was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Let's build this Temple of Light, but keep it really secret.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Temple of Light, to our gods that we all worship together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not many survivors. There's obviously Perry and Parastar's died by this point.
Yeah.
I probably should have mentioned that at the time, but yeah.
No, Rothstar's still around.
Is he still around?
He doesn't die until he gets into the center.
You're right. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
Perry and Horostar.
Yeah.
Spoilers. It's Perry and Horostar there. Propillus and Propillus is there as well.
And
Have a look
Helenia.
around this temple light, and then Helenia turns up with Helio. I think.
Yes.
They arrive together.
They're
and
so gonna get off.
clearly. Yeah. I don't know what they've been
they're
doing
just
in the
going to
meantime, but they're together now.
Yeah, they're a thing.
They're a thing. Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully he's got enough Hesperon. Do you know about Hesperon? So in the DVD notes or the Blu-ray notes, whatever, there's a thing where there's a scene where a Zarbi comes in carrying a Menoptera gun, an electron gun. But in the script, apparently, it's described as a Hesperon ejector. And I just thought, what is Hesperon? What the fuck is Hesperon? And I came to the conclusion it's kind of Menoptera testosterone.
Right.
And so when Helio and Horostar are kind of going to each other later, they're kind of, comparing Hesperon.
Yeah.
And as Menoptera get older, maybe they haven't got quite the Hesperon they used to.
Yeah, I mean, we know that feeling. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Or lack thereof. So yeah, then it's an expression of insectliness rather than manliness.
Yeah. So Helio's initially he's a bit suspicious of Perry. He's not willing to trust her.
And these are lovely scenes. I love again Barbara taking control. I love Barbara so much.
Yeah.
And she's the one who kind of strides in and goes, "Listen, you fuckers.
Yeah.
Let's do this then.
You need me. I don't need
they're
you."
All a bit, they're all a bit kind of, oh dear.
Up to you first, but
all the men basically, but all the men are very secondary to Barbara, and it's so progressive in that way.
Yeah.
Probably without intending to be.
Yeah. There's a lot of women in the cast as well, which for the 60s is pretty good.
Okay, only 2 of them are actually human.
Yes.
and clearly feminine. But yeah.
So Helio's got this thing. He calls it a living cell destructor. It's also called the isotope. Isotope. Which he was planning to use on the Animus, but that
I love that. I love that Bill Strutton clearly saw the word isotope and went, "Ooh, isotope."
Yes.
Oh, yeah, all right, Bill. Have a lie
All
down.
right.
Well done.
But it's kind of whether this is intentional or not. It's another kind of reference to the carcinoma being almost like a cancer, isn't
Oh
it?
my God,
You
I
know,
hadn't
it's a
got that.
radiation
Radiation therapy.
destroys, destroys the
Lord.
cancer.
Good
Yeah.
Lord. Yes. I've
Yeah.
never
I
thought
don't,
that.
like I say, I don't know if that's intentional or whether that's just
But
a,
now you've said it, I kind of think maybe it is. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Because I mean, radiotherapy that'll have been a thing in the
It
60s,
was
wasn't it?
Oh,
no,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
my
That had been going
granddad
for
worked in
years. Yeah.
radiotherapy in the 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, very badly, and he probably shouldn't have because there was no shielding.
Yeah.
He told me stories of picking up isotopes with his hands and going, "Oh, look, we have to put that in the cupboard," because
Yeah.
they didn't know.
Yeah.
The Russian writer Solzhenitsyn had radiotherapy for his cancer in the 1950s.
Yeah,
And was
So
cured.
it's definitely a thing.
For
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah, his plan's gone to shit, basically. But,
Yeah.
60s again, isn't it? Sorry, just to go back to that. So, again, like the Daleks, radiation. That's a thing.
Yeah.
In this story, it's a thing. It's a big thing. Which is
Yeah.
so 60s, when we're in the nuclear age and
oh, yeah, I mean,
the fear of nuclear annihilation.
Peter Parker gets bitten by a radioactive spider and
Yes,
becomes
yes,
Spider-Man.
yes.
It was
The
everywhere.
Incredible Hulk gets irradiated.
He gets irradiated.
Gamma rays.
Yeah.
It's really a 60s, 70s, 50s science fiction thing.
Yeah.
Post-war science fiction thing.
Yeah. Down in the caves, Harry and Veresterin, they're persuading the Optera to help them.
Yeah.
And they know the animus root is in the cave, so they make their way through the caves to this animus root,
Yes.
where they make mouths in the walls.
This will be shorter.
This will be definitely quicker.
Anemone's sacrifice always gets to me.
Yeah.
And the way that what's the leader called? Optera.
I should have written this down. I'm not sure actually.
No, he's played by Ian Thompson. What the fuck is I think it needs pauses where we're trying to find things. We should have the music from Gold, Blake Seven Gold playing. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Yeah, Hetra.
Yeah, Hetra. Yeah, I forgot my point now as well. Damn it. Oh well.
Well, yeah. So
he's just being clear in case anybody thought he was a bit camp. I'm Hetra, right? Yeah.
Nobody can mistake Hetra for being anything else. So
yeah, you will die.
I mean,
the Andrew Tate.
Oh God.
Not that I want to invoke that ever.
Yeah.
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 I was quite satisfied that when he flew to America recently to escape justice in Hungary, the Americans have arrested him. That's great.
Yes. Yes. Except they welcomed him.
They welcomed him. Yeah.
The Trump lot did.
Yeah.
Has he been arrested?
Yeah, the authorities in Florida, they're investigating him for stuff as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I quite like Florida. Florida seems to be sort of going, no, we're not doing that shit. President. We're not having it.
More power to the elbow. Yeah.
You're quite.
Yeah, so as we say, Nemone sticks her head in the wall.
Oh, poor Nemone. She was my favorite.
As she dies. And it's so cold, it's so accepted, Hetra goes, oh, that was my point. Yeah, Hetra just going, no, this is how it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You plug the acid with your head.
That really works for me.
And Ian just kind of goes, ugh.
And also the term, the liquid hate. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. Well, the Optera are very suspicious of the service because for them that's where the acid comes from, isn't it? So they're kind of they're very
Podarawak, isn't it?
Yeah.
They just don't want to fuck with Podarawak. I wouldn't fuck with Podarawak. To be honest.
The doctor swapped his control collar for one of the ones that's working, so he's not actually zombified. He's fine.
Now, I don't know about you two, but I'm finding everything the Doctor does works completely for Colin without any changes at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's
yeah. Dialogue changes certainly.
I'm cutting everything that Vicky's been doing, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, you know,
there's a nice moment in the original version where it's actually Vicky's collar that's not working, and she saves the Doctor.
Yeah.
But
he would be very much he'd be taking the piss out of the Animus an awful lot more.
Yeah.
Like with Nestor.
It would be more confrontational.
Yeah. You know, I don't rate you very highly at all that sort of, Sixth Doctor stuff. But in terms of story, in terms of what he's actually doing, I can't see any differences.
Yeah, so he's got this dud collar, which when he puts it on a Zarbi, the Zarbi comes under his control. He can control it with his ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's prepared to follow his ring anywhere.
He's the Sixth Doctor. That's all I'll say. You know, he can control many things with his ring.
We need a Swanee whistle sound effect for every time you see his ring. Just...
So with his Zarbi bodyguard, he's actually able to reach the surface. He must have a remarkable sense of direction, because he tracks down this Temple of Light, where he gets to kind of converse with Perry and the Menoptera there.
Helios, mainly.
Helios?
Propilius.
Yes, Propilius.
Got the isotope or as... Oh, no, Helios got it, hasn't he?
Helios got the isotope, yeah. So...
I think Helio and the Doctor are going to have a bit of a face-off. I think Helios kind of, what is this prancing clown?
Helios quite aggressive. Yeah. Helios not taking any shit.
Helios full of Hesperon.
He is.
He doesn't need the ejector.
Yeah. He really has to get talked around. They persuade him that the Doctor would take the isotope and use it to nobble the Animus. Meanwhile, Propilius...
And I like that the Doctor has to give his ring. It's kind of like, we're not gonna we're not gonna fucking trust you.
Yeah.
You give us a thing, we give you a thing.
Yeah. Propilius takes his Zarbi, and as you say, the Doctor has to give him his ring.
That's going to be difficult in this era. That's an image I don't want to think about.
I mean, it would normally be Sonic Screwdriver, but even that doesn't work, does it?
No.
He gives him his cat badge.
His cat badge.
Oh, his cat badge.
Right. Yeah.
His cat badge that controls Zarbi in ways.
Yeah.
Because it's made of gold. That's what it is.
Yeah. Golden cat badge.
Yeah.
Golden cat badge.
Golden cat badge.
You know what? Being the JNT era, we would have had a scene at the beginning of the story in the TARDIS, Doctor and Perry having a bicker, and her going, "Why are you wearing a golden cat badge suddenly?" And he'd go, "Reasons." And we'll leave it at that, and then yeah.
So he can control the Zarbi with the power of his cat badge. Okay. He heads back to the Carcinome, where he immediately gets captured and webbed up. That's not great.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Where they're both kind of going. It's the sounds they make that get me. Not the visual, but the just type stuff that they're doing.
There's a great bit earlier on where Vicky's been taken over one of these slave collars, and she's just standing there with her eyes kind of gazing at the ceiling, really going for it. It's lovely.
She's really good at it. It's kind of unnerving, isn't it?
Yeah. Superb performance as ever from Maureen O'Brien.
Yes.
But then nobody else does it. So
a story about the web planet. Did you know that Maureen O'Brien started shivering because when they were applying that for that shot, the web, they had to sit there for ages and ages and ages. And I don't know if you ever tried sitting in a position when you're acting, when you're on set and stuff like that. But after a while, your muscles just give up. They go, "Come on, do something." And we're not designed to be sedentary. That's sedentary. And she started shaking because she hadn't moved for ages, and she couldn't move because if she did, that would destroy the web.
So yeah, we're getting to the final part of the story, really. That everyone's making their way to the Animus. The Doctor gets dragged in there first, and he's kind of fighting its power. Unfortunately, he's hidden the isotope on the way.
Yeah.
We might simplify this a little bit, actually. There's a bit of padding in episode 6.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there's padding all the way through it. I mean,
there's
it's a 6-part,
yeah.
1960 Doctor Who story.
Yeah. So maybe simplify that a little bit, but yeah, Phyllis has taken the Zombo, the Zarbi that they control, and basically leading an attack on the Carcinome, where they all go
Zombie.
Love it.
Yeah.
Again, that sort of thing's easy to take the piss out of, but I love it because it's alien, it's weird. We wouldn't do that. None of us would do. If you were acting a part, you wouldn't choose to do that, but they do because they're aliens. They don't think like us.
Yeah.
It just works for me.
Yeah, I mean, the Zarbi, there's a kind of logic to it because the Zarbi communicate with these high-pitched noises, so they're making high-pitched noises that confuse it. They kind of know what they're doing.
You talk to a dog or a cat, you don't talk like you do to a human.
Yeah.
Hello, how you doing? Oh, I know, dog, that sort of thing. It's God, I love this story. I love it.
So yeah, you're right. This is the bit where they jump on a larvae gun. Arostar gets killed.
I love his last shot as well. He's just like insects. Cry. They're like that. The legs are up and they're all contorted and so on. So yeah, I like the thought behind it.
So yeah, they reach the astral map where the Doctor's hidden this isotope. At least they certainly do in the original. I'd be tempted to cut that. So we've got the Doctor with the isotope reaching the center. Which is basically it's meant to be a giant spider. I think it's actually kind of a sort of
jellyfish is the nearest I can get.
Yeah. Strange bowl thing suspended from the ceiling. It's kind of
strange suspended bowl with foam tentacles.
Yeah.
I love the set though. I do. And the way that they get enmeshed in it, you cut back and they're both kind of wrapped up in the tentacles and stuff.
Yeah.
The only problem with those scenes in the original is there's no sound effect on it. So they're very quiet when they kind of shouldn't be. I don't think you would have that problem in the 80s.
I've always thought because the next time we get anything like that, it's Claws of Axos, where they're all held by these arm things. You've always got the behind of Axos. There's always sound effects for Axos. I agree entirely. That's totally.
So in the 80s, you'd have the sound effects, and plus you'd have Malcolm Clark clanging away on the soundtrack or whatever.
Music. Have we got Malcolm for this?
It depends. I'm not sure exactly when it is. We're filling that gap between season 22 and 23.
Malcolm did Attack of the Cybermen at least, so he was around and doing stuff.
They'd have a spare camera as well, where you could kind of go out of focus and zoom in and out of the or something like that. Some kind of effect.
For some reason, I just found myself thinking of the Listen theme. Bam, 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 bam. I think that'd be great for Helio.
It's a Hesperon theme, that one. So the Animus has got massive mind powers, which is kind of preventing him from using the isotope. He kind of he doesn't get very far with it.
I've always loved the bit where Barbara pointed at it and it goes, "It doesn't work." I just thought it would be great. I mean, you couldn't do it in that story, but imagine if it didn't work. It just didn't work at all. And then the Doctor has to come up with some amazing solution. Maybe we can do that in this.
We probably should, because
so wrong.
Yeah, they all kind of get there. I mean, Harry's going to be climbing up through the floor.
Harry's going through the floor,
And basically what you get in the actual story is you get a scene where they kind of go, "It's not working," and then about 2 minutes later, "Oh, it is."
And
and basically that's it.
It's a bit fast return switch for me. It's a bit kind of, oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
like,
maybe we can
we
integrate it a bit
stop
more.
now.
Maybe the isotope doesn't work unless a thing is done, a sacrifice is made
Maybe
to
something.
offer himself to
Yeah.
the animals.
Maybe something, because sort of Harry in this instance arrives, doesn't he, through the floor? But it doesn't really. It's not like he's arriving to save the day or anything. He just
it has
arrives
no impact
and that's
whatsoever.
it. So
he's just there.
So maybe it's something him and the Optera have got.
Punch the animals out.
Yeah.
You just
maybe someone
rally the fuck out of
it. Maybe someone needs to sacrifice themselves by throwing themselves into the animus with the isotope. We sacrifice
one of the Optera, wouldn't it? They're all over that.
Yeah.
Could it be Harry?
Kill off Harry.
You can't kill off Harry.
I suppose you could.
Have we had Harry in a later story? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. No. Plus, to be fair, Ian Martin's not around for much longer.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
Or could it be Perry? Since Perry died, well, sort of, in the original, could we have a mind warp type ending where Perry grabs the isotope and just gets stuck in there?
Funny enough, I think we've already replaced mind warps, so I'm not quite sure what happens to Perry in that one.
Right.
Maybe we go for Harry and.
Right, Harry does it. Yeah.
Harry. Yeah.
Harry's noble sacrifice.
Noble sacrifice. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and that brings it down. Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
Anima's dead.
And the Optera are going to erect temples to Harry Sullivan.
Yeah.
Gets his own statue. Yeah.
He gets his own statue, like at the beginning, the one that we're looking at. That ties in nicely.
Yeah.
And you get a really poignant sequence, which again Colin was really good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of going, I'll miss the idiot, something like that.
Yeah.
But clearly with great affection.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's kill Harry.
All right.
Wow.
Go for it. Yeah. Okay.
We are bad people.
We are. That fixes the planet. The Zarbi are docile now. The larvae guns are friendly. You can pet them.
Yep. Carcinome's withering.
Carcinome's withering.
I love the last scene where you've got sort of bits of the carcinome set put in the background as if it's falling apart, but it does look a bit like just bits of the carcinome set.
Yeah. Actually, I've just had a thought. If we're going to have Harry sacrificing himself, it ties in with what's happened to him earlier with Nebony, because he's seen that. And this is what makes him think it needs somebody's going to have to, for the greater good, sacrifice themselves, and it's him. So it kind of ties in with that bit.
It's quite powerful, really, isn't it? Yeah.
And you get a big close up of the Doctor going, "You killed Harry." Yeah.
And then as a result of that sacrifice, life returns to the planet. The acid is turned back into water.
Yeah.
Plants.
I think
we'd
see
again.
that more. I think it would miraculously suddenly flourish. It'd be very colourful, and trees and things appear. In the 80s. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And one of the Optera's got a little baby Optera. It's good. We called him Harry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, this little Optera's going Harry. That's how they talk from birth. And the producer's going, "We shall spin songs about Harry Sullivan." I'm quite moved by this. This is
It's better than the original, in fact, where we get some quite lengthy scenes with Western introducing the Optera to light, and they're going to go, "Oh,
yeah."
You say
it goes on a bit too long.
I like it. I like they spend a good 10 minutes.
Good 10 minutes. Yeah.
The story just kind of because the whole story is so character based.
Yeah,
it really is actually. Despite the fact they're insects, it's all about the relationship that Ian and Vreston have and things like that.
I love how kind of disbelieving the Optera are as well when they're saying, "Oh, you'll be able to fly," and that as well. And they're like, "They're not convinced."
Yeah, fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
You see our wings? They're like that.
So yeah, I mean the Doctor and Perry leave. I guess at the end they're a bit sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We could tie this into Mummy on the Orient Express, where she's a bit upset with him.
Yeah.
We could lead into that
nice,
next.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So would it
So-
be that the Doctor, Harry maybe looks at the Doctor and says, "I can do this," and the Doctor says, "Yes, do it," and Perry's
Yeah.
go, "No, don't do it because you'll die."
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
Doctor's realised. Doctor knows, and he and Harry exchange a look, and it's kind of yeah.
Yeah.
And she's pissed off at him because he allowed it,
Yeah.
and he's all kind of like, "Well, what was I supposed to do, Perry?" Yeah.
Yeah. And that gets their relationship to a real low point. Yeah. Okay. That works.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Happy with that? 6 and 7? Does that make sense? Good.
Makes it a bit awkward for when the Doctor years later meets Sarah again, doesn't it? Oh, have you seen much of Harry?
No, not really. No.
For a while. Yeah.
What's he up
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him. No.
He got all his Hesperon sucked out by a big jellyfish.
Well, it was bound to happen.
Ensplintment.
The Web Planet, then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better or worse?
I think it would be more.
I think
it'd be
incomparable.
worse.
I think
Yeah.
incomparable. I think they're so different things. And it's like you said earlier on, Baz. There's no way any
No way.
production team outside the
No.
60s would have tried the Web Planet.
No.
Yeah.
And I would narrow it down even to there's no way anyone apart from the original production team
Yeah.
would have tried the Web Planet.
Yeah.
Verity to go, yeah, we'll fucking try that.
There we go.
And also,
we need twice
in
as much
those
money.
early days, they haven't got the same weight of expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only the second season, and Doctor Who's been a surprising success. But really, it's none of it's written down yet.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can do whatever they want, and they damn well do. And that's part of the reason why I love those very early seasons, season 1.
Season 2 is one of the most varied seasons ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all over. Yeah.
I've always said one of the reasons I love Doctor Who is that you get the run of the Romans, the Web Planet, and the Crusades.
Yeah.
My God, you can't be more different in one series.
Yeah.
In tone, in style, in writing, they're not the same thing. And yet they are. And I love that. I love the wild imagination. And I don't care about production values in that way. I the imagination, the fact that they tried matters to me so much.
Yeah.
I
And
mean-
we haven't really, sorry, I was just going to say we haven't really mentioned this, but they were really pushing the Zarbi as the new Daleks, weren't they? They wanted another. The amount of toys from that era and
Let's
and
face
books
it,
and
let's
things.
face it, they were pushing everything from the Voord onwards.
Yeah.
They all turn up in the annuals and stuff like that. Having said that, the Web Planet is the only one where you get plastoid badges, apart from the Daleks.
Yeah.
You've got an Optera, you've got a Zarbi and the Venom Grub. So that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we've given this story a bit of love tonight, but I mean, I would say it's not popular amongst fans generally.
That was part of my disenfranchisement with Doctor Who fandom. I just thought, if you don't like the Web Planet, then I don't want to know you.
I think it's hard to love for a young modern series fan. You know what I mean?
I mean,
it's the hard stuff when it comes to the classic era, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have to really,
you have to kind of, lose your expectations of pace and go, all right, we're spending
not
25
so much
minutes getting from A to B,
not so much suspend your disbelief, but amputate it.
Yeah. And look, that bit of set is clearly a painted cloth that's wobbling as they walk past it.
So clearly, but Vortis is it is stagey. It is
it's very
absolutely
stagey. Yeah.
But then, all right, so is most television from the 1960s and 70s.
Oh yeah, I mean it's much closer to theatre than we're used to now.
Yeah. And yet it isn't, because in the theatre you couldn't do lots of things like the flying sequences. It's oddly filmic. It is absolute, to my mind. The Web Planet demonstrates what television should be, to my mind, or it was, which is a halfway house between theatre and film.
Yeah,
it's made like film. It's got cameras on actors. It's not live and so on. But what those cameras show is a very theatrical setting. But I love that. I don't think it's any the worse for that. I think I find it very immediate.
Yeah.
Because even though this stuff is 60 years old, you can see everything that went on. You can hear every creak, like we said at the beginning. You hear every creak. You are kind of there in the studio. You're not necessarily there on Vortis, but you are there in the studio with them in that way. And I love that. I find that very connective. Connective? Is that the word? I don't know. Am I talking shit? Probably.
Yeah. I sometimes I kind of compare it a little bit in my mind to Out of the Unknown, because when you watch Out of the Unknown, some of the episodes you think they're punching so high, with things that really they didn't have the technology to achieve.
Do that.
But they're still going for it, and the Web Planet's a bit like that, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I love that about television, and I resent that I think we've lost it. You might argue we haven't lost it because, of course, CGI and production values, and it's so much easier to realize things. But conceptually, in terms of writing, I don't think we have anything like that now, and I resent that. I think things like the Web Planet, Sky, True and the Stones, all the HD stuff, Into the Labyrinth, wonderfully imaginative. And I've never needed to be convinced by production values, because I know the thing is fake. It's fiction. I know fiction is fake. Someone reads me a story, hasn't got massive production values. I'm just into the story. And the Web Planet epitomizes that to me. It's just, let's tell a story. And it doesn't matter to me at all that it looks crap. I don't think it looks crap. I think it looks fascinating. It doesn't look convincing. But no Doctor Who looks convincing. Ever. It's not meant to. Spearhead, maybe. Well, even in Spearhead, you get the tentacles coming out at the end. I don't need Doctor Who to look convincing, or fiction in general. Tell me a story, and the Web Planet does that, and I'm very satisfied with it.
Yeah,
good. That's that. 7 words.
Right.
That's truth. That is. Fly in Menoptera to the Temple of Light. We are waiting. I love that ending. I just find that so hopeful. They've won, and we are waiting for you. Come. Great stuff. I finished now.
Shall we just roll?
All right.
Oh, yes. That's me, isn't it? Right.
Did you forget?
Yes.
Here we go. 10.
10. Okay.
10. Oh. It's Tennant.
Again.
Yeah. In 249. That's probably a Tennant story.
Yeah,
that's a bit later, actually. 249 is Mummy on the Orient Express.
Okay, we got it. 252. Really? Random number generator? Really?
252. Dark Water / Death in Heaven.
Oh, that really doesn't appeal.
It doesn't appeal, does it?
Well,
I'm gonna grade, because that really does.
If you hadn't, I would.
Yeah.
You know what? Time Ram works better when it's new series versus old series.
It really does. Yeah.
Oh, story 7!
Well,
Wow! All right.
Is that the Reign of Terror or something, is it?
It might be, yeah.
Sensor rights?
Sensor rights. We've done the sensor rights.
Oh, we've had this. Oh, balls.
This is going to get so bad by the end of it in 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We're just going to have to go, oh, it's that story. 44.
44. The Dominators. Keep going.
77.
77 was that?
Yeah.
We're getting later and later. Okay, 77. The Sontaran Experiment. That's all right.
Have we done that?
I don't think we have.
So
fits nicely into a one episode.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. David Tennant.
So, listener, come back next time for more punishment with David Tennant in the Sontaran Experiment. I want to know. Brilliant. So, yeah. Thank you for listening, as ever. We really appreciate your service. I've been Rupert Booth. I probably still will be. That over there is Paul Ferry.
Bye.
And that over there is Barry Williams.
Bye-bye.
We'd like to thank Ben Jones for our music. You can find us all on social media. Some of us are on... I know, actually, you two are you? I'm on Twitter still. And I still call it Twitter. Rupert Booth. We're all on Blue Sky.
Yay.
With various names. What are you, Paul?
I think I'm that Paul Ferry, I think.
Nice.
I don't know.
Baz?
Baz Time Ram.
Cool. Those two are on Tumblr. As is our clearly number one fan, 6 and 7, who we all adore. Oh, by the way, that
our listener
was a work of art, right? Loving that. Loving
that. Shih Tzu. Yeah, fantastic.
Really good. Come and be a guest. Come on, come and be a guest. You know you want to, and if you don't want to, we want you to. So you have the choice. You do have a choice. Yes, we're on Facebook, I suppose. And we have a website, which has a URL, which Baz will now tell you.
Timeram.com.
Nice one, Baz. Thank you.
It's complex, but there you go. Yeah.
And we have a Patreon, which, come on, patronise us. I know you want to. Yeah. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
It's all going to turn into, isn't it? We're all going to become Wilfred Hardwide.
Direction point! Direction point!
A Doctor Who podcast network.